Joseph Haynes Davis, an Orlando, Florida-based lawyer. Great to have you on the program. Welcome to you. We've just seen in that report a lot of anger there. Could the grand jury have handed down a different decision, and why has it taken 6 months?
Well, thank you as always for having me. As to the question of why it has taken 6 months, sometimes these investigations take that long based upon the evidence that is available to them and the investigation and the process. Also, it's probably taken that long because of the statutes available under Kentucky law to try to make the charges that would stick in this investigation. As to whether or not the grand jury could have handed down a different decision, that is also based upon the evidence that is presented to the grand jury, based upon the investigation by the Attorney General, Mr. Cameron. So the grand jury gets what is presented to them, and I guess, in theory, that another decision could have happened dependent on how the evidence was presented to the grand jury.
And what happens next legally? Does it end here?
Well, as the Attorney General mentioned in his press conference, the investigation is still ongoing, so therefore things can change. As to whether or not any federal charges can be brought, the answer is yes, and that would be as to whether or not the civil rights violations, if they happen, if they are found to have been violated by the killing of Ms. Taylor, then civil rights charges could be brought by the federal government by and through the Department of Justice.
And I want to ask you, the death of Breonna Taylor has had so much US and international spotlight, attention, anger. Can that make a difference now legally? I mean, we've seen it from the protesters, from celebrities, from sports people.
Well, it most certainly can possibly have an influence. I mean, it would keep pressure on the Department of Justice and so forth to have a thorough investigation of any civil rights violations, and possibly put pressure on the state authorities in the state of Kentucky, and in particular, the city of Louisville, to continue their search for justice and continue for more investigations. I can tell you that from the perspective of those like myself outside of the state of Kentucky, it is definitely concerning with a raid or a search in the middle of the night, a search warrant in the middle of the night. That's problematic. And I think most citizens of the United States of America do not like no-knock raids. Now, the Attorney General said that this was not a no-knock raid, according to his investigation, with the evidence that was founded, with the independent corroborating witness. But still, raids in the middle of the night at the homes of citizens in the United States of America is highly violative, in my opinion, of the Fourth Amendment, and that is the right to limit government's unreasonable search and seizure. And let me also add, and I hope I'm not taking up too much time, that also includes the high likelihood, because it's at night, you could raid the wrong home. You could have mistakes. You could come in, knock down the door, and it be the wrong address. You know, for instance, they could be trying to search apartment 7254, but then they could accidentally search 7524, which is the wrong address. So night searches like this are highly suspicious, and that is one of the remedial matters that should be looked at in matters like these, and just in America general.
That's a very important point you raised there, and a good one to end on. Joseph Haynes Davis, Florida-based attorney. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you for always having me. Thank you for always having me.